who are Hebrews, Israelites, and Jews. Hebrews were said to be members of a certain group of people in the ancient days. The actual meaning and origin of Hebrews were vague, but others said they were the ancestors of the Jews, such as Phoenicia, an ancient thalassocratic civilization originating in the Levant region of the eastern Mediterranean, primarily located in modern Lebanon. The territory of the Phoenician city-states extended and shrank throughout their history, and they possessed several enclaves. The certainty of its meaning remains unknown. There was no exact definition of it, but there are speculations that represent the word Hebrews like its literal meaning to traverse, or to pass to another side of something. This word was clung to the chosen people of God, who crossed the water headed by Moses when they crossed the Red Sea on the other side of the land. It means that they standing on the other side of the land, which was being called Hebrew. So since they were the Israelites who crossed the sea, the word Hebrews applied to them to cross on the other side. Some scholars said they were the descendants of the patriarchs of the Hebrew Bible, so it has a connection to people who crossed the Red Sea. They were the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel. Other speculations of the Hebrew were from Eber, the great-grandson of Noah, who lived on earth for 430 years. Genesis chapter 11 verse 17. Israelites, who were they? Well, as we all know, they were the 12 tribes of Israel. And who was Israel? Who was this person? In the Bible, these people are chosen by God and considered peculiar people, meaning a unique nation compared to all other nations on the face of the earth. They were considered by God special since the promise of salvation came from the first, but of course, to Gentile nations in the later part of the story. Now, who was this man Israel? He was the descendant of Abraham, whom God gave the promise to be the father of many nations. You can read it in the book of Genesis chapter 17, all verses. Abraham was the father of Isaac and Ishmael. You can read their story in Genesis chapter 16. But the promise of God to Abraham did not continue to Ishmael but to Isaac. So, Isaac was the father of Jacob, who bare 12 sons and 1 daughter. That was the starting point of the so-called 12 tribes of Jacob, also known as the 12 tribes of Israel that live in Israel today. And here is why they were being called the 12 tribes of Jacob. It is because the name Jacob was changed by God himself to Israel. We will read it here. Genesis 32:22-32 Contemporary English Version. Jacob's name is changed to Israel. 22-23 Jacob got up in the middle of the night and took his wives, his 11 children, and everything he owned across to the other side of the Jabbok River for safety. 24 Afterwards, Jacob went back and spent the rest of the night alone. A man came and fought with Jacob until just before daybreak. 25 When the man saw that he could not win, he struck Jacob on the hip and threw it out of joint. 26 They kept on wrestling until the man said, "Let go of me, it's almost daylight." "You can't go until you bless me," Jacob replied. 27 Then the man asked, "What is your name?" "Jacob," he answered. 28 The man said, "From now on, your name will no longer be Jacob, you will be called Israel, because you have wrestled with God and with men, and you have won." 29 Jacob said, "Now tell me your name." "Don't you know who I am?" he asked, and he blessed Jacob. 30 Jacob said, "I have seen God face to face, and I am still alive." So he named the place Peniel. B. 31 The sun was coming up as Jacob was leaving Peniel. He was limping because he had been struck on the hip. 32 And the muscle on his hip joint had been injured. That's why even today the people of Israel don't eat the hip muscle of any animal. Jews, who were they? Actually, they were the same personality and characters in the Bible. It goes back to the time of the patriarchs from Abraham, Isaac, and Ishmael, but the promise did not continue to Ishmael but to Isaac. Then Isaac begot Jacob and Esau his older brother, but Esau did not have the promise but to Jacob. Certainly, One of the 12 tribes was Judah, where our Lord Jesus Christ came, and the prophecy in the book of Micah chapter 5 verse 2 must be fulfilled, and the place was Bethlehem Ephratah, the birthplace of our Lord Jesus Christ, that is in Jerusalem today. Then came a time that the tribe Judah become well known in the place, as the Messiah was from the tribe of Judah, that is away from the law, that leaders of the nations Israel must be from the tribe of Levi. They were the Pharisees. Going back a little farther, before there were two kingdoms in the house of Israel. This division of the two kingdoms was recorded in the book of 1 Kings chapter 12, 2 Chronicles chapter 10. 10 tribes go to King Jeroboam, the so-called the kingdom of Israel, while the remaining 2 tribes went to Jeroboam and are called the kingdom of Judah. 1 Kings chapter 11. Just click down below for the video of the 2 kingdoms. To make the story short, the 10 tribes now are the lost tribes, while the other 2 are the ones who lived in Israel today, the tribe of Judah, where our Lord Jesus came, and the tribe of Benjamin, and others said some of the tribe of Levi. And since the known tribe who lived in Israel today was the tribe of Judah, with the capital of Jerusalem, is now the citizen of Israel today, otherwise known as Jews, but they were both Israelites from the 12 tribes of Israel. Thank you for watching. Here in Bible Solution 101, feed your mind, nourish your spirit. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell, and also share our video for the glory of God. Have a nice day, and may God bless you and your family. See you in my next video.